A Wizard Tower.
Return of Gelu review.
Nice wolf armor, by the way. Hey! Lion Hero. He is going to be a special guest in this Terraria series.
Greetings, comrades. This is 88 Gelu, and I'm finally back with another chaotic deck review. As you can see, I have the placemat out. I think this might help me be a little more organized. Also, it adds a nice background. So, without further ado, let's get started. So I'm just going to explain this deck. Firstly, it is based on Khorror, which you might remember I got from my first chaotic Fire and Stone promo tin. Now, also on that subject, I know that this is probably out for a while now, that Chaotic was cancelled. Before I thought it was only temporarily. I recently found out that, so far to common knowledge, it is permanent. But, and my brother and I did try creating thought about creating a campaign to try and help their funding. However, if they've already just completely shut down, then there's nothing we can do. So yeah, that's really depressing. But on a more positive note, let's go to the review, shall we? Okay, so this deck, since it's based on Khorror, is a warbeast discipline deck. The discipline specifically being courage and speed, which is why I have two Titanicses over here. So, let's go into the creatures. First off, we obviously have Khorror. He has 135 energy, 100 courage, and 105 speed. He has 50 recklessness and is unique and loyal. He has a Ravita flower, which gives him 5 energy, and I can sacrifice it to give this Apele, 2 music counters. Now, the reason I have it on Khorror is because an opponent is bound to think, because at the beginning of the game, you're going to sacrifice this Mapedi and Balladier's flute that's on this Apele and give it to this one, because this one has a weightless energy vessel, which is going to protect it from Mujik's and abilities. So you're going to have a total of minus 30 recklessness, which is still not enough to block out Khorror. So, most opponents would probably think, oh, well, Khorror's just going to take 20 damage after each attack, so I might as well fight him. So that's when you'd have a Ravita flower, sacrifice it, and then Khorror would have 0 recklessness. Because Apele, in case you didn't know, he gains 1 music counter each time a music or ability targets your creature. Now what I don't know is whether ability means activated ability. That's something I'm going to have to figure out. But also, he reduces recklessness by 10 for each music counter on him, and they both start with 1. So now I explain to you 2 of my creatures and 3 of my battle gear. I also have Ninren over here, with the range, Swift 1, Recklessness 25, 65 energy, 145 speed, 80 courage, and another Ravita flower. That way you also have some room to cast Mujix. Then over here I have Titanics with the Indigo Sash. The Indigo Sash gives him plus 40 speed and 5 energy, giving him 60 energy, 105 speed, and 75 courage. He has Intimidate, Courage, and Speed 50, and Recklessness 20. Then we have our last Titanics, which has the Bronze Flight, giving him Defender against creatures with range, and giving him a total of 80 courage and 100 speed. And he also has 60 energy. Now we have the Mujix. The musics I have here are a Tune of Zirium. Sacrifice a battle gear. If you do, return another battle gear from your discard pile to play, equipped to an equipped creature you control. Now, the reason this is good is, let's say your opponent has no guys with range. There's not much reason to keep the Bronze Flight, or something like you could always sacrifice a something along those lines, you know. And then you could get back a Revitaflower to give your Apelles more music counters, or bring back the Indigo Sash, or if someone destroys it, or the Weightless Energy Vessel, that too. Either way, it's useful. Then we have Song of Recovery. Heal 10 damage to target creature. That creature gains Air 5. Air 5 is completely useless in this attack deck. The reason I have it is for the heal, because since nobody except for Ninren has any element types, getting something like Ember Flourish is stupid, and getting, I think Minor Flourish, which is a generic music that heals 10 energy. It's a lot easier to counter generic music than tribal music, so I prefer Song of Recovery. If there is one that, Danian tribe music that heals 15 for one music counter, then that would obviously be much better. So then we have Aegis Area. Negate target attack. The next attack played deals 0 damage. So obviously after this music is played, one, you're going to want to use it to counter a really big attack, but your opponent is then probably just going to get rid of some of his weaker attacks in his hand, because the next attack's going to do 0 damage anyway, but it still gives you some breathing room, which is always nice. Then we have Armament of Alteration Anthem. Destroy all battle gear equipped to engage creatures. Then, if you control only Mepetians, return a battle gear from your discard pile to play equipped to your engaged creature. Now, the reason this is really good is because, as I said, with the Mepetians, Balladier's Flute, and the 2 Revitaflowers, you're going to be sacrificing both of them. So this is a good way to destroy your opponent's battle gear after your battle gear was already sacrificed, in order to also get back one of your destroyed battle gears. Then we have this Bonding Battle Song. When target opposing creature gains or heals energy from a music or activated ability, the caster of this music also heals or gains that much energy. And last, we have Song of Shelter. Target creature you control may not be the target of music or abilities until end of turn. So, like, let's say someone were to try and, I don't know, finish off Titanics with a Cannon of Casualty. You could use Song of Shelter to negate it, and you would also gain 2 music counters for them targeting your warbeast. Meaning you'd gain 1, because it costs 1 to use Song of Shelter. And now we have the locations. We have 2 Brawler's Burrows, which give Outperform all disciplines 5 and initiative speed. Speed is much bigger in this deck than Courage, because both the Titanicses and Ninren have higher speed than they do Courage. Well, so does Khorror, but both of his are on 100 or over, which makes it a non-issue. Also, it allows you to reshuffle your attack discard pile into your attack deck, which is really good. Then we have 2 Riverlands Wastes, initiative fewest elements, and when this becomes the active location, each player shuffles their attack hand into their attack deck and draws 2 attack cards. Also to help you shuffle through attacks, because there are some really powerful attacks in this deck and some really weak ones. And then we have Broken Edge, Outperform speed 5, initiative air, wisdom attack damage is reduced by 5. We have the Swarp Tomb, initiative fire, engage creatures with the lowest courage, fails all checks on attacks it plays. Brawler's Burrow, initiative power, engage creatures gain disarm. So really good if you're Khorror. And then Vidav's Refectorium. Once again, to help you shuffle through attacks. And last, we have the attack deck. We have Spirit Gust. Yeah, I'm not going to go through all the description of all the attacks. Acceleration. I think there are 2 accelerations here. Daunting Bravery. Shadow Strike. 2 Shriek Shocks. Screeching Scare. Primal Smash. You can't see that. Which is unique, and it for 1 build cost does 20 damage, which is amazing. 2 Harnessed Rage, which deal 5 damage plus the damage of your recklessness value. So if you were to have Khorror, it would do 55 damage. If you were to use Titanics, 25. Ninren, 30. Bravelint, which does 5 damage, and then stat check, courage, and speed 60, each deal 10. There we go, and my other acceleration. 2 snare attacks, 2 velocitraps, a poison sphere, an academy strike, and a charge of the brave. Charge of the brave will generally not work that well for most of the guys except for maybe Ninren, unless you're against guys who have some pretty low courage, because most of the guys in this deck's courage is in the 80s, except for the Titanics up there, whose is 75. So probably be better. I didn't want to put it in Enlightened Tenacity because it would have done less damage, and none of these guys could have done any Earth. But maybe it would have done better to put in another Daunting Bravery and then replaced something like one of the 2 snare attacks with, I don't know, something. Maybe a poison sphere. Or, actually, better yet, you could probably replace Charge of the Brave with Skeletal Strike, which would be even better. So, the strategy for this deck is mainly that you want to sacrifice the Mepetian Balladeer Flute right off the bat, give it to this Apele who's protected. Then, you want to attack your opponent's Muges and strategic guys, obviously with Ninren, because he has range. And let your opponents kind of butt their heads against Khorror and Titanics, because these 2 are just beasts and are going to bulldoze through them. Now, considering the attack deck and also Khorror, I might turn this eventually into a Bodil's Dagger deck, but if I was going to do that, then I need to find good replacements for Titanics. Unfortunately, these 3 guys and Galost, I think it's Urberon. Yeah, I think it's Urberon, and Eerie are the only warbeasts I have. So, yeah, that's a bit of a problem. Maybe if I get more warbeasts, I will be able to make a good Bodil's Dagger warbeast deck. So, yeah, guys, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Please don't forget to comment, rate, and subscribe. So, yeah, guys, thanks again for watching. Goodbye.